Lunacy is not a form of personal or public degradation, for it is a level of the world of unknown politics. Everything's living in a conspired dream of control, a mass conformity, below the threshold of consciousness or apprehension, specifically involving or using stimuli that become effective subconsciously by repetition. The government knows this and uses it against you. We must be aware of the soundness of mind and judgment to see through the iron curtain in front of our eyes so we can question the truth. Your choice to believe what I tell you at your own risk. These are controversial topics that have become the great conspiracies of the world. You will hear information that is graphic and can be disturbing to people extremely sensitive to worldviews and religions. So please, listeners' discretion will be advised. Hello everybody, welcome to show 18. Another wonderful show on Subliminal Sanity, Impeach Obama. A little breakdown of last week's show, a sense of suppression. I'll give you the breakdown for last week's show. A sense of suppression here. Basically, a sense of suppression is not what you're going to hear on this show. And if you want to hear it, you can go back on and check it out. It was pretty crazy. Basically, yeah. Go watch the State of the Union, and you'll understand what suppression's all about.
You'll get a real
little roundabout way of, dancing around the actual subject with all these big terminologies, but yet kind of.
Oh, it sounds great. I mean, everything sounds
poetic,
great.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It was almost like he was reading from, some kind of poetic shit that the Constitution founding fathers that wrote the Constitution had wrote somewhere down the line.
That's kind of what he's proclaiming, but then he's doing all the opposite. I mean, he's trying to take executive powers and take all the powers away from the judicial branch and legislative
And if any American that didn't understand politics watched that, and they were like, if this is somebody that was like an MTV baby, you know what I'm saying, a little,
Well, yeah, it looks like he's out there, he's getting stuff done.
Oh, man, it was good. He's even getting the whole back a little bit. I want to earn the trust back from the people.
The whole idea of the Constitution is to keep stuff moving slow, so nothing radical happens.
Well, I tell you what, tonight we got a great show to you. Okay, moving on.
The whole reason the Constitution exists.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And we'll get into those semantics a little bit down the road here, okay? We're going to hop right into the truth and Socrates' poison for this week. Denny, if you could do the honor.
Shortly before dying, Socrates spoke his last words to Crito, saying, "Crito, we owe a cock to Asclepius. Do pay it. Don't forget." Socrates understood that we leave this world with nothing, and what we leave behind goes to the gods or government, an oxymoron because they are the same. And that is the truth in Socrates' poison.
And for this week, for Truth and Socrates Poison, we have some wonderful quotes from Barack Obama. We need to steer clear of this poverty of ambition, where people want to drive fancy cars and wear nice clothes and live in nice apartments, but don't want to work hard to accomplish these things. Everyone should try to realize their full potential. Barack Obama. They're coming from a person who promised us a bunch of jobs, right? Focusing your life solely on making a buck shows a certain poverty of ambition. It asks too little of yourself, because it's only when you hitch your wagon to something larger than yourself that you realize your true potential. Again, apparently he's getting that kind of epiphany in his mind now that he's trying to overdo the entire Constitution and Congress and legislation and basically take advantage of the entire American culture. The fact that we are here today to debate raising America's debt limit is a sign of leadership failure. America has debt problem and a failure of leadership. Americans deserve better, and I therefore intend to oppose the effort to increase America's debt. Another famous quote from Barack Obama: America and Islam are not exclusive and need not be in competition. Instead, they overlap and share common principles of justice and progress, tolerance, and the dignity of all human beings. Demoralize the enemy from within by surprise. Terror, sabotage, assassination. This is the war of the future. Adolf Hitler. Great liars are also great magicians. Adolf Hitler. How fortunate for governments that the people they administer don't think. Adolf Hitler. This brings me to our wonderful show, Impeach Obama. This show tonight is not a game. This is not a funny disposition I'm trying to paint in the minds of our listeners tonight. This is a message I want to try and convey to the people as what they might consider as pointless to consider itself. Tonight you will hear clips of Obama's speech in 2008, running for president, and all the bullshit oral diarrhea he fed to the American people just to get to where he is today, contradicting everything he said for the last 60 years, well, close to it. This man has lied and lied and lied and lied more than anyone I could think of. He had his State of the Union speech 2 nights ago, and I tell you, it was the best oral diarrhea I have heard in a long time. And you want to know why? See, I have this problem in my mind. It's a cursed memory. I have a problem remembering things that happen, and they stick in my head like a memory burn. So forgiveness don't come easy with this curse. It doesn't come easy at all, and I think you guys can understand what I'm getting at. So when I heard his speech, it was all the same crap, but with a hammer coming. Because every time our president speaks, the opposite happens. Pay attention to everything he said. Okay, everything he has said, the opposite happens. So think about what I'm saying in course of these speeches. So basically, he is not playing now, and he knows that we're catching on, and we want him out, especially as all the people in Congress. But there are good people, but a lot more bad. And we got people in our office that don't give 2 flying F's about you or your kids, your mom, your legacy, nothing. If you know this, why are they still in there, and why are we not doing something? Why is Ukraine rioting, taking back their country as well as other nations around the world, while we sit back and obey and consume and abide the code of the machine? I call news people and senators and everybody, and I think that I'm one of the few. So no one cares to call back or say anything about it. So someone has to show me that they care as an American, or what the hell are we trying to save? Here in this show, here is the reasons you, as the people, should stand up and impeach this man. Nixon was impeached for wiretapping and taping conversations illegally. What is Obama doing with the NSA? Clinton was impeached for a blowjob, and he lied. Okay? Let me bring up an important fact. At least with Clinton, we had the ability to cover this information and find out about it to impeach this guy. Okay? We had the First Amendment. What's that?
Clinton got caught with his pants down?
He got caught with his pants down. What American hasn't? Okay, so, what did Jesus say? He who have no sin cast the first stone. Okay? Now, as innocent as a blowjob, right? I mean, I guess it's not that innocent. He was cheating on his wife.
It's the fact that he lied.
Him and his wife.
Under oath.
What other president didn't cheat on their wife and have other mistresses? Do your research, people. Okay. At that time, we had the First Amendment. And in fact, your freedom of press. Well, we don't have that. We don't even know who Barack Obama is 5.5 years later. Who is Barack Obama? You know, his first name is actually Barry. All right? But, you know, you say that out there. Let alone all the other scandals.
Barry Manilow.
This guy, I know, right? Let alone all the other scandals he's been involved in. I mean, this guy is a plain, bold-faced liar, okay? In this clip, you will hear his election speech and also his contradictions placed in there. And I've also fudged it a little, just a bit, so you can hear what the true intentions behind his confusing, drawn-out speeches that fluff you up and then sell you bullshit with open arms, okay? So please listen close. For what he says is your future. And remember, all the good he sells you comes in a box right full of the opposite effect. Denny, if you could do the honor of playing clip 1, Impeach Obama.
But in record numbers, you came out, spoke up for change. And with your voices and your vote, you made it clear that at this moment, in this election, there is something happening in America. Change is what's happening in America. Our new American majority can end the outrage of unaffordable, unavailable health care.
Whoever put together Obamacare, it's genius.
In our time, we can bring doctors and patients, workers and businesses, Democrats and Republicans together. And we can tell the drug and insurance industry that while they get a seat at the table, they don't get to buy every chair.
The United States has long been at the forefront of one medical breakthrough after another, improve people's health and grow the economy.
And I'm glad I've been promoted to scientist-in-chief. Given my grades in physics, I'm not sure it's deserving. Computer chips, GPS technology, the internet. All these things grew out of government investments in basic research, and sometimes, in fact, some of the best products and services spin off completely from unintended research that nobody expected to have certain applications. You know, as humans, we can identify galaxies light years away. We can study particles smaller than an atom, but we still haven't unlocked the mystery of the 3 pounds of matter that sits between our ears. Today, scientists possess the capability to study individual neurons and figure out the main functions of certain areas of the brain. But a human brain contains almost 100 billion neurons, making trillions of connections. So as a result, we're still unable to cure diseases like Alzheimer's or autism, or fully reverse the effects of a stroke. And the most powerful computer in the world isn't nearly as intuitive as the one we're born with. And the most powerful computer in the world isn't nearly as intuitive as the one we're born with. There's this enormous mystery waiting to be unlocked. And the Brain and Application Initiative, will change that by giving scientists tools they need to get a dynamic picture of the brain in action and better understand how we think. In the budget I will send to Congress next week, I will propose a significant investment by the National Institutes of Health, DARPA, and the National Science Foundation to help get this project off the ground. And we're also partnering with the private sector, including leading companies and foundations and research institutions, to tap the nation's brightest minds to help us reach our goal. Presumably my life would be simpler here, so it won't be easy. But think about what we could do once we do crack this code. What if computers could respond to our thoughts, or our language barriers could come tumbling down, That's the future we're imagining. That's what we're hoping for. That's why the Brain Application Initiative is so absolutely important. Not this time. Not now. Ingenuity of farmers and scientists, citizens and entrepreneurs to free this nation from the tyranny of oil and save our planet from a point of no return. And when I am President of the United States, we will end this war in Iraq and bring our troops home. And when I am President of the United States, we will end this war in Iraq and bring our troops home.
It started as a war on terror, spawned by the deadliest terrorist attack in history.
You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear.
But the circle of America's enemies grew quickly and included nations that had nothing to do with 9/11.
Senator, both you and Senator Clinton have said that Senator McCain favors 100 more years of war in Iraq. Well, on Sunday in the New York Times, Frank Rich wrote, quote, really, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton should be ashamed of themselves for libeling John McCain. That, in fact, Senator McCain never said he wanted 100 more years of war. He just felt American troops should be a long-term presence the way they are in Japan and South Korea. So are you willing to admit that you have distorted his statements?
No, that's just not accurate, Meredith. We can pull up the quotes on YouTube. That he is willing to send our troops into another 100 years of war in Iraq. No, that's just not accurate, Meredith. We can pull up the quotes on YouTube.
Maybe 100. How long? We've been in South Korea. We've been in Japan for 60 years. We've been in South Korea for 50 years or so. That'd be fine with me, as long as Americans are not being injured or harmed or wounded or killed. Then it's fine with me. I hope it would be fine with you if we maintain a presence in a very volatile part of the world where Al-Qaeda is training, recruiting, and equipping and motivating people every single day.
That's just not accurate, Meredith. We can pull up the quotes on YouTube. We are bogged down in a war that John McCain now suggests might go on for another 100 years. That's just not accurate, Meredith. And when I am President of the United States, we will end this war in Iraq and bring our troops home. We will care for our veterans.
There's one group who you'd think would have very little patience for all this dysfunction. Well, it's the men and women who have served our country so dutifully and have sacrificed so much, our nation's veterans. Take a look at what happened today at the World War II Memorial when veterans of that war showed up, only to discover it had been barricaded because of the shutdown.
We will restore our moral standing in the world, and we will never use 9/11 as a way to scare up votes, because it is not a tactic to win an election. It is a challenge that should unite America and the world against the common threats of the 21st century. Terrorism and nuclear weapons, climate change and poverty, genocide and disease. We've been told we're not ready, or that we shouldn't try, or that we can't. Generations of Americans have responded with a simple creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And the way to make government accountable is make it transparent so that the American people can know exactly what decisions are being made, how they're being made, and whether their interests are being well served. Let me say it as simply as I can. Transparency and the rule of law will be the touchstones of this presidency.
This has been the administration that's prosecuted more whistleblowers in 2 years than in the preceding 40 years, that meets with lobbyists across the street from the White House so they don't have to disclose they're meeting with lobbyists, and, this is true, censored nearly 200 pages of internal emails about their efforts to make government more transparent.
Media.
They not only closed the meeting to the media, they didn't even put it on the president's public schedule.
I believe that every single American has the right to affordable, accessible health care.
This is another sign that government-run care is coming for all of us.
I said this once or twice, but it bears repeating.
Whoever put together Obamacare, it's genius.
Employers may have dodged the health care law for another year, but you may not be so lucky. Remember this?
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. You can keep your plan if you are satisfied with it. If you like the plan you have, you can keep it. If you like your plan and you like your doctor, you won't have to do a thing. You keep.
You're at United Healthcare or you're an Aetna. You have to take people with pre-existing conditions. That means you have one of two choices. Either you take those people and then, oh my gosh, now your costs explode, so you have to pass the premiums on to your healthy people. Or you say, forget it, I'm not going to do that. Well, then what happens is one of two things. Either those people say, oh my gosh, there's a lot less competition out there, my rates are going to go up anyway, or I run to a government, health exchange. Or they realize their premiums are going to go through the roof anyway, and they think, oh, I'm not going to pay these high premiums. What's going to happen? I go to a government-run health exchange. Either way, the government wins in this case, you're going to see the exits of all the Aetnas, the Blue Cross Blue Shield. Obamacare wins. We can't fight it at this point.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
In a tragic report, Hawaii's state health director recently died in a plane crash. Loretta Fuddy was the only passenger on the aircraft who passed away. 3 others were pulled out of the water by a Coast Guard helicopter, while fire crews assisted in picking up an additional 5 people. Fuddy was described as an advocate for the underprivileged and disadvantaged, specifically in the area of behavioral health care. She is also remembered as the woman who verified the authenticity of President Obama's birth certificate.
Dr. Jerome Corsi, who is the senior staff writer for WND.com, reports that as a student at Harvard Law School, then Bachelor Barack Obama's practice of wearing a gold band on his wedding ring finger puzzled his colleagues. Now, newly published photographs of Obama from the 1980s show that the ring Obama wore on his wedding ring finger as an unmarried student is the same ring that Michelle put on his finger at the couple's wedding ceremony in 1992. Moreover, according to Arabic language and Islamic experts, the ring Obama has been wearing for more than 30 years is adorned with the first part of the Islamic Declaration of Faith, the Shahada, which says, "There is no God except Allah." The Shahada is the first of the 5 pillars of Islam, expressing the 2 fundamental beliefs that make a person a Muslim. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is Allah's prophet. Sincere recitation of the Shahada is the sole requirement for becoming a Muslim, as it expresses a person's rejection of all other gods. Egyptian-born Islamic scholar Mark A. Gabriel, Ph.D., examined photographs of Obama's ring at WND's request and concluded that the first half of the Shahada is inscribed on it.
She is also remembered as the woman who verified the authenticity of President Obama's birth certificate.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Contrary to the rumors that you've heard, I was not born in a manger. I was actually born on Krypton and sent here by my father, Jor-El, to save the planet Earth.
And everybody's laughing like they just took some acid, and this is just a big fairy tale, and we're all living a big movie, and, oh, yeah, anybody get some more champagne? Can't wait to watch those Hunger Games. Now, change was promised, and we got it. You got Obamacare. You got DARPA and doctors and the insurance companies that own every chair, and also our tax dollars are going to public experimental applications known as the BRAIN Initiative. The BRAIN Application Initiative is what I call it, because that is what it is, with the selling point as controlling and manipulating your health for the better. This is a weapon against you. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Govern means control, and mental is the mind. We have governmental agencies trying to control the mind. And then, check it out, he says, when I'm president of the United States, we will end this war in Iraq. 9/11 brought terror to the world, and we're looking forward to 100 more years of it. And what I've heard, get ready, because he gives you the answers, and it's just thrown in the air so you're confused. And he is a liar, and we are about to go to war in Syria, but he said they're going home. So here we are, going to basically take our troops back from Iraq, but then nobody leaves. In fact, there's an increase, and then all of a sudden there was a surge, and then he turns around and wants to go to war with Syria, and then because the people are like, no, you're an idiot, your penis ain't that big, buddy.
A couple of governments got tumbled there.
Yep,
Libya,
they did. In fact, we even gave weapons. Check this out, okay? So we got veterans getting screwed at the World War II Memorial because of the government shutdown, because people are not cool with war, I guess, and being a bully of the world. And then, yes, we can. You know what he's talking about? I'll give you just a little hint. Not you, okay? That yes, we can is about him and his administration and everybody behind that. There is no Republican. There is no Democrat. There's a line drawn in the sand that's really invisible. There's a bunch of people controlling the entire thing, and there's a bunch of people behind him that have these little puppets in front of the entire little Hollywood screen. And we should impeach them all, but I think Obama is
to the American people.
No. And I think that really they should all be thrown the hell out, but we'll just start with the big guys so far, okay? Because we are the people, and we really are in the numbers. And if you go ahead and do your research on Ukraine, you'll see that they're gaining control. Now, if you like your health care plan, then you can keep your plan. So if you get a doctor and you're healthy and you got money, you're good. But because of government health care, it will be cheaper, so better doctors and private insurance policies will be through the roof. So they will be forced to go to the government. And he is Muslim, which really, who cares? But he's obviously not American, you know what I mean? And so this is pretty controversial stuff, you know? And he has nothing that is proved to us to be truly factual information that says that this guy should continue running his presidency. And I didn't vote for this guy, and I know a bunch of my friends that didn't vote. And even in Maine, they said that 0 people, Waldo, Maine, I believe. Where is it? It's in Maine. I forget. It's in Maine. So go research Maine on YouTube, and then it'll show you the people in Maine that said that basically all their votes went to 0. That nobody voted. But it was a lie, all right, a cover-up, just like everything else. And it's sad and sick. But if the people don't start doing something, like I said before, what the hell are we doing and fighting for? Now, I guess we have a little bit of time before 8 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and jump into clip 2 before my DIY artist comes on. So basically, clip 2, all right? So when you start backing it up a little bit, remember when I said that I fudged a little to interpret what you might not be picking up in these political speeches? Well, this clip, I did fix it for you. President Obama admits the truth behind the mask of our government finally, and this is why I'll be seeing you guys at camp. Now, remember, political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable. Now, our government spokespersons don't admit that they're terrorists, but tonight they do. Denny, if you could play us clip 2.
Well, this week marks the anniversary of the atomic catastrophes on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan.
The American people have been both heartbroken and deeply concerned about the developments in Japan. We've seen an earthquake and tsunami render an unimaginable toll of death and destruction on one of our closest friends and allies in the world. Second, I know that many Americans are also worried about the potential risk to the United States. So I want to be very clear. We do not expect harmful levels of radiation to reach the United States, whether it's the West Coast, Hawaii, Alaska, or U.S. territories in the Pacific. Let me repeat that. We do not expect harmful levels of radiation to reach the West Coast, Hawaii, Alaska, or U.S. territories in the Pacific. That is the judgment of our Nuclear Regulatory Commission and many other experts. Furthermore, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and public health experts do not recommend that people in the United States take precautionary measures beyond staying informed. And going forward, we will continue to keep the American people fully updated, because I believe that you must know what I know as president. Here at home, nuclear power is also an important part of our own energy future. We are announcing roughly $8 billion in loan guarantees to break ground on the first new nuclear plant in our country in 3 decades. And this is only the beginning. My budget proposes tripling the loan guarantees we provide to help finance safe, clean nuclear facilities. Meanwhile, there are 56 nuclear reactors under construction around the world, 21 in China alone, 6 in South Korea, 5 in India. I know it's been long assumed that those who champion the environment are opposed to nuclear power. But the fact is, nuclear energy remains our largest source of fuel that produces no carbon emissions. To meet our growing energy needs and prevent the worst consequences of climate change, we'll need to increase our supply of nuclear power. It's that simple.
This is the path heading towards Surfers Beach. We're up on a bluff area, parkland. You can see what it's reading. The last 3 days I've been down here. When I hit the beach, my detector goes into alarm, which is set at 3 times about this, 99. Now I'm on the beach. There I am, I'm over background. The alarm's going off. Here I am on the beach.
152.
Been hearing lots and lots of talk, lots of videos about the Fukushima disaster and nuclear fallout here in the United States. Heard of thyroid problems. I hear people bleeding out their ass. Just all different types of stuff and problems. Genetic mutations here in plants and flowers and things from radioactive fallout. Contamination with milk and other food products, our meat source. Just many different just horrible accusations and just things like that. But so far I've seen nobody do any real testing here in the United States. Personally, I'm located in Texas. They say that the fallout is everywhere across the entire U.S. Obviously California got hit the hardest. I've heard that the number one source and the highest concentration is during rainfall. Just rained just here recent, so the ground is real nice and saturated and wet with the rain. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little experiment and see if the truth is actually the truth. You can see my counter right here. Here's a radiation detector. It detects beta, gamma, and X-ray. And right now in the air, we're at 18 clicks per minute, which is normal background radiation noise. It's actually pretty good, pretty low. I mean, a Geiger counter is pretty self-explanatory. If it's radioactive, it'll respond. So what we're going to do is we're going to test a little bit of samples, and we're going to find out the truth and see if this is a real problem here. And we're just going to set the Geiger counter down here, and we're going to find out if we have radioactivity. Well, it seems really high. The alarm's going off. Oh my gosh.
1,517 CPM.
That's crazy. So the main type of fallout that is supposedly experienced here in the United States, from what I've been seeing, would be cesium-137 and some other good stuff. But, you know, this is a terrible worst-case scenario situation. You know, things get into the ground, our food supply, and, you know, the animals eat animals eat the food, and it gets in the meat, and then it gets in the milk, and, you know, your vegetables and all that types of stuff.
Let me repeat that. We do not expect harmful levels of radiation to reach the West Coast, Hawaii, Alaska, or U.S. territories. And going forward, we will continue to keep the American people fully updated, because I believe that you must know what I know as president. Our government and their affiliates are terrorists. Our terrorist government made a series of hasty decisions. Poorly planned, haphazard approach. Our terrorist government made decisions based on fear rather than foresight. The decisions that were made over the last 8 years established an ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism that was neither effective nor sustainable.
Then, moments later, he announced his own ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism. President Obama today proposed something new, something called prolonged detention. You didn't do anything, but you're gonna.
There may be a number of people who cannot be prosecuted for past crimes, in some cases because evidence may be tainted, but who nonetheless pose a threat to the security of the United States. Al-Qaeda terrorists and their affiliates are at war with the United States, and those that we capture, like other prisoners of war, must be prevented from attacking us again.
Indefinite detention without trial. That's what this is. You strip away the euphemism. One civil liberties advocate told the New York Times today, quote, "We've known this was on the horizon for many years, but we were able to hold it off with George Bush. The idea that we might find ourselves fighting with the Obama administration over these powers is really stunning."
But we must do so with an abiding confidence in the rule of law. Our government was defending positions that undermine the rule of law.
to ensure that they are in line with the rule of law.
How can a president speak the kind of poetry that President Obama does about the rule of law and call for the power to indefinitely, preventively imprison people because they might commit crimes in the future?
My administration has begun to reshape the standards that apply to ensure that they are in line with the rule of law. We must have clear, defensible, and lawful standards for those who fall into this category. We must have a thorough process of periodic review so that any prolonged detention is carefully evaluated and justified. Our goal is to construct a legitimate legal framework our goal is not to avoid a legitimate legal framework. In our constitutional system, prolonged detention should not be the decision of any one man. If and when we determine that the United States must hold individuals to keep them from carrying out an act of war, we will do so within a system that involves judicial and congressional oversight. And so going forward, my administration will work with Congress to develop an appropriate legal regime so that our efforts are consistent with our values and our Constitution.
You'll construct a legal regime to make indefinite detention legal. You will, what does he say? Develop an appropriate legal regime so you can construct a whole new system outside the court, even outside the military commission, so that you can indefinitely imprison people without charges. And you'll build that system from scratch. How long would President Obama's proposed preventive indefinite detention last?
Right now in distant training camps and in crowded cities, there are people plotting to take American lives. That will be the case a year from now, 5 years from now, and in all probability 10 years from now.
And controversial detentions could soon be commonplace in the U.S. And now with the National Defense Authorization Act coming into effect this Thursday, the law that many fear spells the end of American democracy grants the government and the military unprecedented powers to detain U.S. citizens indefinitely without trial.
My ultimate point is to prevent or stop what I think is we are walking into World War III at the moment. Between Syria being destabilized, what's happening is we are now in a state of martial law and war globally. NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, that Obama has called for and signed, stipulates that even American citizens can now be targeted by the military, picked up, and imprisoned indefinitely without civilian trial, thus throwing out our due process, our habeas corpus clauses. So we are now in the state of martial law. Everything is now creating conditions for a total war state. I mean, McCain called for the whole America becoming part of the so-called battlefield. America is now a battlefield. The whole earth is a battlefield.
Shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. Across the country, people are trying to find ways to make communities safer. In New York City, police hope to catch illegal gun carriers with full-body scanners.
Our government, our terrorists.
The device is called terahertz imaging detection.
Our government and their affiliates are terrorists.
It works by scanning a targeted person head to toe and can detect when someone is carrying a gun. The device is called terahertz imaging detection.
Government
fears U.S. citizens
pose a threat to the security of the United States. Governments and their affiliates are at war with the United States, and those that we capture, like other prisoners of war, must be prevented from attacking us again.
As the scanners do its job, those targeted have no idea they're being scanned.
How can you justify Obama's flip-flopping on the NDAA? He said he didn't want it. Now he's fighting in a court in New York to keep the NDAA indefinite detention provision.
Look, guys, I got to...
Can you explain his flip-flopping? You want to talk to him, no? You answer his question.
Told people what we know when we knew it. Told people what we know when we knew it.
How will Obama defend his secret kill list next week at the foreign policy debate?
Well, look, this president is taking the fight to Al-Qaeda.
To the security of the United States.
Does that justify a kill list?
When there are people that are trying to harm us,
many fears U.S. citizens
pose a threat
and have pledged to bring terror to these shores, we've taken that fight to them.
Without due process of law?
We have taken that fight to them.
Without a court of law? Illegally against the Geneva Convention?
I think I know where you are on this issue. I'm just trying to answer your questions without answering my questions. You doing it, but if you want to answer my question,
I'm just trying to deal with the spin.
No, actually, you're just...
You said it's important for the president, to do what needs to be done in terms of members of Al-Qaeda and people who pose a threat. Do you think that the killing of Anwar al-Awlaqi's 16-year-old son, who is an American citizen, is justifiable?
I'm not going to get into Anwar al-Awlaqi's son. I announced his citizenship.
His son was still an American citizen.
Did great harm to people in this country. and was a regional al-Qaeda commander hoping to inflict harm and destruction on people that share his religion and others in this country. And
that's an American citizen that's being targeted without due process of law, without trial, and he's underage. He's a minor.
I was defending positions that undermine the rule of law.
Wow, I tell you, that's some powerful stuff right there. You got, and I want to bring back in there because there was a part where he said in there where they're talking about martial law, and I never wrote this stuff down. But I do know, if you go to court, if any of you guys, is everybody still there?
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys ever go to court, if anybody's ever going to court, all right, and you go to the judge or whatever, you're going to see the American flag with the gold band all around it, okay? That indicates that we're in martial law. And so we are in martial law now. And so this guy really isn't playing around. And, you know, and I'm not going to go into the semantics of that. That's probably for another show. But, anywho, I mean, what do you think of that right there, Crowley?
Oh, it's some crazy stuff, man.
Crazy stuff. You got Fukushima. President Obama saying that he would keep us informed.
President Obama.
Because he
all
believes
kinds of stuff that he's done that just screams impeachment. And now
right off the
trying to
bat, you just heard one clip. Here's clip 2 we just brought in. And so you got Fukushima.
Yeah.
President Obama said that he basically would keep us informed because he believes we should know what he knows as a president. I've heard that shit before, and it never came true.
With the NSA, and then
I heard that there was nothing wrong, though. I heard there was nothing wrong in the fact, and we're basically there's all these tons of prophetic disasters, but no explanation. You got fish dying everywhere.
Radiation does not cause cancer.
No. Just smile, and it'll make it go away.
And it'll go away.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's A-okay. I mean, I got to listen to the people like you and me just to get a grasp of the truth of what's going on here, okay? Well, all the while, everything is getting tainted and we don't even know it. And then the nuclear fallout is in the
next thing they'll do? They'll legalize pot throughout the whole country, and then they'll say if you smoke pot or you eat pot or whatever, that you'll be fine from the Fukushima stuff. Won't even affect it because pot cures cancer.
I understand the fundamental. What kind of cancer are we talking about here? You know, what kind of race?
I know it.
You know? But then he has a speech where he's given money, $8 billion of tax dollars to invest in a nuclear power plant here in America because it's the safest way to go for the environment. And, yeah, that sounds great to me. Nuclear energy source, no carbon emissions, and prevent the worst consequences of climate change. We'll need to increase our nuclear power supply. It's that simple. That's what he said.
I saw a group of people here on Facebook and stuff. They were talking about attaching solar panels to everybody's roofs and making a grid so that they share power amongst each other. Oh, yeah. I thought about the same thing a few years ago. It's nice to see that it's out there. 152
clicks per minute on the beach in Cali in Texas after a rain shower. He had set it down and it had what was it, 1,517? So right there, I mean, clicks per minute right there just by sitting it down after a rainfall in Texas. All right? We're climbing on 7:43 here, and I still have plenty to say about that clip here, but we have plenty in the next hour, and we're climbing in on our exposing DIY artists. Yeah, DIY artists for the week, Wester Joseph. Is Wester there? Are you listening, buddy? Is anybody in the call room there, Denny?
No, nobody yet, brother.
Nobody yet? All right, I'll have to go in there and check him out. He'll probably be calling in, hopefully. I'll message him. Hey, buddy, call in. I don't think he has a number. I'm going to go ahead and give it to him right now. It's 818-431-8214. If everybody else wants to call in, too, and give a ring of the world in this, too, you guys can. That's 818-431-8214. Gotta love that. And, so we'll go ahead and keep moving on until he gets into the chat room, and we'll go ahead and disclose a little bit more of what was up. So basically, like I said, in a fallout, nuclear fallout, which is rain, by the way, so nuclear rain, and you heard it yourself, and have the video clip on YouTube. I have it on YouTube so you can see it for yourself. It's no joke. Texas. 1,517 clicks per minute, okay? And that's pretty scary to know what's that it's coming from us and not Obama, because Obama says we are fine and we must be okay, so go back to sleep, people. There's nothing to see here. And then you also have this right here where he basically said that our government basically went over there and has been acting illegally on the war on terror that has not been effective, so I'm going to do the job that they didn't finish, which is lock up anybody that tries to go against the government. So breaking the rule of law, he is going to reshape our standards that apply to create a system that makes it follow the rule of law to lock us all up. That sounds even scarier, you know?
Yeah.
I guess we have nothing to worry about, though. Jail is just another experience
he makes scary stuff sound good.
He really does, I tell you, like I said. I mean,
I know.
This guy, if he was he really should just write poems.
He's like, as long as you're not a conspiracy theorist or going against us,
on the side of the road writing letters. You know?
As long as you pay extra money and work extra hard, we won't even pay attention to you.
No. NDAA, that's already passed, if you didn't know, and now you know what it offers. Great.
And then he talked about the TPP, too, which was really surprising.
He really did. And pressing the issue, we'll go on with that, about the PPP or whatever, the TPP, the big
Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Yeah, that's in your ass, basically. Take in mind that do your research on that. That's not going to be good, okay? And he sells it with, gold.
Well,
it's just like
that's
Alex
because
Jones
we'll
said,
be
man.
responsible for all kinds of exports and regulated
Every time he
wages
promises
and
jobs, you know we're going to lose jobs, okay? He wants trusted Americans.
The TPP is a big job loser.
Oh, yeah. Now, I sat back and thought
then he promised all these jobs. He promised to raise Dude, he's going to raise the minimum wage. This is like a Ronald Reagan
Hey, we got
thing.
Wester in there?
Oh, yeah. I'm just listening to you guys. This is awesome.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
I didn't mean to troll, man.
Pretty intense stuff, huh?
No, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Thanks, brother. Hey, for this week's Exposing DIY Artists, we got Wester Joseph. How you doing, Wester, man? You doing great? Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, buddy?
Yeah. Hello, my name is Wester Joseph. I'm a musician, actor from Gainesville, Florida, and I make a lot of music and do a lot of weird, odd jobs.
Tell us your story. I saw on one of your websites there. I believe it's your Wester Joseph Stereo Vudu actual page, and has the about piece. And I believe when you click on the music, this entire beautiful segment comes up and talks about, the story of Wester Joseph and his band.
My parents are from Haiti.
The legend.
And, my parents are from Haiti, so I was born in Miami, Florida, and I grew up in Naples, and I played in a lot of bands and did a lot of cool things, worked on Spike TV and stuff, but recently I just got into, the movie business and started doing that. My guitars led me, to being in a Billy Bob Thornton movie, so that's opened up a lot of opportunities for me, and the band's kind of rocking out now, so getting back in the scene, not bad for a guy who just...
Keep going, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I just for me, it's like, I don't know, when I like the do-it-yourself thing, because I can honestly say I have basically, that's the way I've done it, I just did it. It wasn't like I was trying to be in those things. Yeah, you just keep hacking at it, and you never quit, and then next thing you know, you might get the call, and as long as you don't choke, you should be all right.
Right? That's awesome. I'm not sure if you know anything about Lynn Strait. Do you know who Lynn Strait is? He's the lead singer for Snot. He died at 33 years old. Love the guy. Big
yes, I do remember. Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, man, yeah. People made comments about that guy, and they said that, Lynn Strait, he didn't take half the road. He took the whole road. And, in fact, that motherfucker made the road. You know what I'm saying? And, when I see what you're doing, man, it's amazing. And like I don't know, like when you hear kind of the Jimi Hendrix atmosphere to it, because I'm going to throw it out there. Anybody that checks out Wester Joseph, he is Haiti, and I believe Haiti American, or I'm not really sure what. Haitian American,
yeah.
And so he's not white, and he's left-handed, and so he plays amazingly. I've seen him live; he's actually phenomenal. I mean, like phenomenal.
Jimi Hendrix reincarnated.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you gotta do your research. But the thing is that he's taken it to, I've had a lot of conversations with him. He likes futurism, and when you listen to his music, you can really totally tell. Now, so is there anything that you could wrap a thought around all your influences and inspirations that would be? What would they be?
It's interesting because it's like the musicians I like tend to be philosophical and. Because like you're talking about futurism, I'm a huge fan of Ray Kurzweil, use his keyboards and samplers. I like the idea of music and technology and art kind of working together. So I like, of course I like Jimmy, but it's the same thing. he kind of took technology to another level, helped him open up and break a barrier. I love Fela Kuti.
Well, yeah, that's when
putting together
distortion
rhythm and jazz.
Everything were first coming out and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They were first starting to tamper with distortion.
Yeah, like when you think about, like to me, it's like when you think about the influence of those guys, it's just like, it's not just the fact of what he played and how he played it. Think about it. Anybody who buys a distortion pedal, you're stuck. Yep. If you buy a fuzz, you're stuck. If you use a wah-wah, you're stuck. If you use a sampler, you're stuck. If you use voice recognition technology, which a sampler is, Ray Kurzweil, might as well send him a check. Like, so those kind of things. Those kind of things.
All technology
like when I
stuff.
think, you're
absolutely right. What you're trying to say is
that
these guys set the mark and nobody's taken off where they left off. And you want to be the air of the breeze of that moment today. You want to bring... I wanted to do the same thing. I'm like, you listen to these classics, man. Where the hell that should be a genre in its own.
Well, a lot of kids today are
I don't know. Call me crazy.
Music. They're not picking up guitars. They're not playing instruments. They're
playing that's what I'm trying to say.
Digital music.
But it's a double-edged sword, too, because I see it, and this is me, like being the devil's advocate at the same time, because I like to look on the forums, and I'm a big nerd when it comes to technology and NPCs and blah, blah, blah. But when you look, actually what's starting to happen, right, these kids have grown up with nothing but MP3s. They've grown up with nothing.
I was about to say that. You're right.
They go to a garage sale. They get a Led Zeppelin album. They're like, it costs 2 cents. They put it on a record player from the same garage sale for $10. Blows their mind. So that wheel is coming back around again.
Yeah,
all of a sudden you listen to the radio.
Analog sound.
It needs to, because it needs to.
Sounds like the 90s.
And artists like you, honestly, are way more talented than most that are on the radio today. And no offense to the people that are on the radio, but there should be more on the radio. They should be finding people like you. If I owned a label, you'd be the guy. I'd be sponsoring you like a mofo. So, what is the future plan so far? You guys got a new album in the works, or what?
Yeah, we're working on an EP right now. Like, once again, I've spent the last couple of years after the first album, because I did the first album while I was doing the film. Actually, I was doing the album, and then I got a call from Colonel Bruce Hampton, who was in Sling Blade, and he called me up, and next thing you know, I'm playing. And even the band I'm with, if you watch the movie, it's called Jane Mansfield Card. The drummer is Dwayne Trucks, who plays in a band, Hardworking Americans, with a couple of guys from Widespread Panic. Yeah.
Tell us more about the album that you got going on, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the movie part, so you can tell us all about that. Because I'm totally curious. But you got a future album going on, because I love your album that you got now, and if you got one going on, can you tell us a little bit some secrets about it? That most people.
Well, I think I would say that I tend to create music. Like when I get influenced by music for myself, I tend to feel a certain, era. So, I would say the last album was my ode to, say, Curtis Mayfield, my father's music. It was my ode to the things that I grew up listening to. And now...
Beautiful. That paints a better picture for me now, listening to the music.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it was like I was so influenced, and it would have been one thing if I just tried to imitate that, but it was songs about me and what I was going through, just kind of through that prism a little bit, because I'm a lefty, and I was trying to do the guitar thing. I would say this album is much more of an experiment because I took I got a lot of stuff off of, like, Craigslist and 4 tracks and kind of things, and Ableton and technology I don't normally use, and I'm much more of a, like I would say, I'm much more of a, in a 90s,
I love that about
80s
you,
dance
though.
moves with synth guitars, you know, and using vocoders and, you know, and also using some of my African instruments. And so Stereo Vudu is just kind of always like, it's like there's a storm on my head of music, and these guys help me get this, put it in perspective. So even our new shows, they change and we evolve constantly, but, you know, I try to stick mostly to the guitar and vibes, but this new album I'm really excited about because I feel like there's a lot more accessible music. You know, it's a little bit more 4 on the floor, a lot more rhythmic, and I'm excited to put out some new sounds on it too.
Oh, I
and
can't
plus some
wait,
really
man.
gnarly guitar stuff.
When it comes out, man, do you mind coming back on and playing your what do they call that? You're basically your sample track, man. Your one-hit, not your one-hit, the demo or the, what do they call that track that comes
single.
out? Basically,
the
single. Come back on and play your single.
Yeah, I definitely, I will pick a
really
song,
like.
and, I'll pick a song, and, for me, it's like I said, you're talking about
pick
do yourself
two, so we
music,
can go
like,
ahead and play the ending song, too.
Yeah, I will say
You're
that
the man, Wes.
Oh, I appreciate it. For me, like with tonight, I was like, hey, you pick the song. Because I just make music. I make music, I make it. I'm so surprised sometimes that I actually have an audience, that I was able to, get the audience of, just, important people, because I do it in my own little thing. So I really appreciate even getting a moment to even say anything about it. And I really appreciate it.
You're out on an open mic night right now.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about that movie that you got going on? Because you said that you were in a movie with Billy Bob Thornton, and I think that's pretty incredible. And why don't you tell us a story of how that kind of all happened?
Yeah, I am a pretty good friend. Like, I have a musical mentor that I've played a lot of shows with him named Colonel Bruce Hampton. And I was actually in the studio recording this album, and he called me up one day, and he's like, hey, Lefty, people from Hollywood are going to call you. When they call you, just say yes. Realized I didn't have a phone. He sent me this message on Facebook. I had to, go borrow $50, get a phone, call him, be like, what do you want? He told me this. I thought it was a joke. And then he explained it to me more. Next thing you know, I'm doing an audition, which I'd never done before. It was a great experience. And then the very next time I go up there, I'm talking to Billy Bob Thornton, and I cannot express enough that this guy is the real deal. And everybody on that set was just wonderful because, here I am. I'm just this guy. I play my music, but like I said, I didn't think anybody's listening, And he really was going for authenticity because this movie was set in 1969, and he wanted a guitar player. He didn't want an actor. He was just like, I want someone who does this every day, and when he touches the guitar, there's just no doubt. In the movie itself, I sing and play guitar, so it's not overdubs. And you actually see me play, so when you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I've seen him do that 100 times, So it was just a wonderful experience, and I got to play with Dwayne Trucks, like what I said, is in the Hardworking Americans, and Chuck Lavelle, who was just a wonderful keyboard player, and Kevin Bacon and Robert Patrick, who was T-1000, and John Hurt. I mean, it just blew my mind to hang out with John Hurt.
I know, right?
Best story, just a little side story, a little nerd story. I actually got to talk to him about being in Alien and then being in Spaceballs over a glass of wine. And let me tell you, there's basically no more amazing experience than to have. It's like hanging out with the burning bush. It was a wonderful experience. And so, I mean, as far now, I've picked up a nice agent. I've done some auditions, and there's definitely some things in the wind. But, this year I'm just, I'm inspired to get back into music. So we'll see how it is.
Absolutely.
Right now I'm still very much a
do-it-yourself person. So how can we get a hold of your tunes?
You can get a hold of my tunes on iTunes, and if you want to check them out on Reverb Nation, you can download them on iTunes. And we'll be having a website up pretty soon, stereovudu.com. And we'll be playing some shows in the Tampa, St. Petersburg area, Orange Blossom Jamboree and Purple Hatters Ball. But mostly it's just low-key gigs as I'm building up this new album. And so by the fall, I think there's going to be a pretty big, you're going to see me around. So,
nice.
So right now it's just like my Rocky training period, you know. So and you're definitely, in fact, I'll make sure that. I know I'm just punching you right now.
I love it, man.
I'll make sure that you guys will. In fact, I'll make sure that you guys check out the track because, you know, I feel very honored that you were curious and asked me about it. And I'm glad I can.
We're ecstatic to get you on.
I tell you, brother, I'm honored, man. Honestly,
anything we can do to help you promote.
Yeah, get up there, exposing the DIY artist, man. You're doing it yourself.
Do it yourself.
You're putting yourself out there. You got these experiences going on that you're making it happen. It's beautiful, man. You know, this is the story right here in the making.
Out there who's trying
how dreams can come true.
The starving artist.
Never quit. Like I'm telling you, it's always darkest before the dawn.
Die.
Never quit.
Always darkest before the dawn. Just hang
You're an American.
And have a good time.
Sorry to interrupt.
Good Lord.
Got passion
Have a
there.
good time. Have a good time.
Yeah, we're cutters. We
I love
cut
you
each
guys.
other off.
Hey, you know what? He's living it, and he wrote a song about living this, and we're in this moment of living it right now. And here we go. We got song one for the night, Living This by Weston Joseph, Stereo Vudu. Check him out on Facebook, YouTube,
check him out.
iTunes, anywhere. We love this guy. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I just would like to say thank you very much for having me on, and I hope the new tracks rock your socks off, and enjoy this one.
Thanks, brother. Man, I love that track, man, and I can't wait to get some more, honestly.
Yeah,
It's a
I
pleasure.
appreciate it, man. I got some non-relevant stuff, hopefully. No,
okay. Hopefully we get you back on.
Yeah, we got to get you back on.
You want to get me back on?
Hey, we got DP coming on. You know Danny?
Really? I was.
He's going on next week, dude. I didn't even know that you knew him. It's amazing.
So
all right, we're pressing time. I probably have Kenny. I probably have other people on the line. I'm sorry, but we're going to play the song, Living This. Thank you so much, Wester. It's a pleasure, and I hope to have you on again very soon. And thank you very much, and hope you keep listening, brother. It's a killer show. All right, we got to go. Here's Living This, guys.
Dusty Crew keeps spinning off track, trying hard to bring the rhythm back. Onto the rockers who've been dead a while. Long live your spirit and your style. Some call them losers, some call them winners, and some of them got lost along the way. Some call them believers, some call them sinners, but they all had something to say. Rewind it back, yeah, all to a simpler time. Wish we could.
Outer space transmission.
The rain in the gutter, flowing like the blood of the city. The sweat that's pouring down, baby, makes it feel so pretty. There's a world out there, baby, yeah, we just have to see. Gonna take you to places, baby, you will never believe. Singing, oh yeah.
Woo! That was great.
Wow, man, I tell you, that was awesome. Western Joseph and the Stereo Vudu, huh? Oh, man, I tell you, that was awesome stuff. I had to listen to it through the speaker. But it was incredible. Hey, we got, I think we have Kevin Blanch on. Denny, is Kevin on?
Not yet, brother. He's not here.
All right, did you give him a call, maybe?
Yeah, I tried. Let me try again. Some of his numbers I can double check it, brother.
Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and send it to you just in case. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to what we have until we can get Kevin Blanch on. A little messed up on the diagram of the show, but you know what? It doesn't matter, right? It's all about something new and something adventurous. And I tell you what, it's quite the pattern here of, I don't know if you call it insanity or insanity. Insanity. You're getting the truth.
Let's jump down the rabbit hole some more.
I'm just going to drag you down there a little bit. So check this out. This is pretty interesting stuff. When you're going back to clip 2, you got the NDAA. Well, that is passed. If you didn't know, now you know. Terahertz imaging detection. Nice. So we are the terrorists, basically. It's finally coming out. Terahertz imaging detection, and they're using it on us. Don't you get this perception?
Oh, is that the airport thing where you go in but you can't come out?
Oh, God. And Bush, and then he said,
so now they get you in there, they get you cattled in, and then you get arrested and you never come back. You get flown to a
he said 10 years, maybe possibly 5, 10,
10 years? You guys are right done.
Who knows?
Yeah, remember the 90s?
Grandkids could be growing up in there. Then
we'll kill you if
kids.
you remember the 90s.
Yeah. What about Bush? Bush failed, and he did this ad hoc, illegal approach, basically, on fighting terror.
Oh, he failed.
Well, he ain't in jail. He ain't even under the spotlight of the media and all this stuff. So it sounds to me like Bush
he's trying to hide from the
in
media
his
now.
way.
He don't even get out there in politics because he knows.
You know how Bush failed?
It's going to look like cockroaches.
See, what's going to happen, right, is that basically Bush didn't succeed in pushing in the full perspective of who the terrorists really were and where this is really going, so he let it off to his little buddy Obama, and he's carrying on the plan of this tyranny, basically. So if you sit there and look at 16-year-old kid killed by Obama.
He said he's going to take dictatorship. He's gonna pass laws without any kind of constitutional progress here. He's saying, hey, you know what? That Constitution you guys keep talking about? Yeah. Shove that where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, where's my paper? You know, you hear that? That's your Constitution.
Yeah. Throw that away. We don't need that.
Your rights, the only thing that gives you your rights,
I'm just
this is what they're trying to say.
Things.
They're trying to say that the only thing that gives you your rights is a piece of paper. But really, the rights were indoctrinated into you through authored by God. Again, like we had in our last episode, right?
Exactly.
And how you have this
They're your
freedom,
rights,
right?
Unalienable rights. That means that people didn't give them to you, that you just possess them. That means that whole Second Amendment where you get a gun, that's right, you have the right to defend yourself.
Yeah, it's all about,
from anybody trying to take your right,
to
say what you want away.
Yep, and they even said that the American people have the right to defend themselves from their own government.
Yeah. Yep. From anybody that's going to be like, that religion you like? No. That
listen to this.
You want
a
to say?
16-year-old kid killed by Obama, no due process, no nothing, drug out back, and effing killed. Like a prison traitor who betrayed his own kind. And they even said in there about his belief systems, and he had certain belief systems that could impose threats on other people in the United States. His belief systems. That's your First Amendment right. Oh, my God. Impeachment. That was his administrator. That was the person that works with him, one of the inside guys. I mean, I'm telling you, it's crooked as crooked can be. It's crookeder than a question mark, I tell you. It's worse than that.
Yeah.
But have we got Kevin Blanch on for the press and the issue?
Scoliosis.
All right, buddy, we're going to go ahead and play Pressing the Issue for some cricket politics and let you know what's going on currently with the new State of the Union, in case you missed it. I broke down the little juicy parts, so pay attention because this guy knows how to give you some fluff. And then we got Kevin Blanch for Pressing the Issue on the Fukushima Updates. And here is Pressing the Issue. Pressing the Issue.
Obama is officially becoming a dictator. The good news is the people of the United States and the world are beginning to wake up and get concerned. Obama is going to give his State of the Union address tonight. Obama has said that he's going to sell the idea of the unitary executive acting alone in a power grab tonight. This is going to be like Emperor Palpatine's speech where he talks about the first galactic empire. And so this is how freedom dies, with thunderous applause.
Tonight, this chamber speaks with one voice to the people we represent. And here are the results of your effort. The lowest unemployment rate in over 5 years, a rebounding housing market, our deficits cut by more than half. And for the first time in over a decade, business leaders around the world have declared that China is no longer the world's #1 place to invest. America is. That's why I believe this can be a breakthrough year for America. For several years now, this town has been consumed by a rancorous argument over the proper size of the federal government. It's an important debate, one that dates back to our very founding. But when that debate prevents us from carrying out even the most basic functions of our democracy, when our differences shut down government or threaten the full faith and credit of the United States, then we are not doing right by the American people. Now, as president, I'm committed to making Washington work better and rebuilding the trust of the people who sent us here. To invest in this country's future while bringing down our deficit in a balanced way. But the budget compromise should leave us freer to focus on creating new jobs. In the coming months, let's see where else we can make progress together. Let's make this a year of action. That's what most Americans want. Let's face it. That belief has suffered some serious blows. The cold hard fact is that even in the midst of recovery, too many Americans are working more than ever just to get by, let alone to get ahead. So our job is to reverse these trends. It won't happen right away, and we won't agree on everything. But what I offer tonight is a set of concrete, practical proposals to speed up growth, strengthen the middle class, and build new ladders of opportunity into the middle class. Some require congressional action, and I am eager to work with all of you. But America does not stand still, and neither will I. So wherever and whenever I can take steps without legislation to expand opportunity for more American families, that's what I'm going to do. The point is, there are millions of Americans outside of Washington who are tired of stale political arguments and are moving this country forward. Opportunity is who we are, and the defining project of our generation must be to restore that promise. So let's make that decision easier for more companies. Both Democrats and Republicans have argued that our tax code is riddled with wasteful, complicated loopholes that punish businesses investing here and reward companies that keep profits abroad. Let's flip that equation. Let's work together to close those loopholes and those incentives to ship jobs overseas and lower tax rates for businesses that create jobs right here at home. Tonight I'm announcing we'll launch 6 more this year. Bipartisan bills in both houses could double the number of these hubs and the jobs they create. So get those bills to my desk. Put more Americans back to work. Over the past 5 years, my administration has made more loans to small business owners than any other. And when 98% of our exporters are small businesses, new trade partnerships with Europe and the Asia Pacific will help them create even more jobs. We need to work together on tools like Bipartisan Trade Promotion Authority to protect our workers, protect our environment, and open new markets to new goods stamped made in the USA.
President Reagan said, in the present crisis, government is not the solution to our problems. Government is the problem. Let me say from the outset, I'll work with the president, Democrats, independents, and anyone who wants to get people back to work and alleviate poverty in our country. That said, we must first understand what caused the mass unemployment. and the poverty of the Great Recession. The housing bubble and subsequent crash were caused by the Federal Reserve. Too much government money was given out to too many borrowers who could not afford the payments. Banks were encouraged by government to lend money on houses with no money down. The demand for houses went up, and so did their prices, but it was unsustainable. Millions of people lost their jobs. If we don't understand the cause of joblessness, we'll have trouble fixing it. As we entered into the Great Recession, Republicans and Democrats misdiagnosed the problem as too little government, so they gave us more government in the form of bank bailouts and a government stimulus plan. Nearly $1 trillion later, though, we find that government doesn't create jobs very well. It turned out that it costs nearly $400,000 per job created. Why? Because government is inherently bad at picking winners and losers. In the marketplace, most small businesses fail. If government is to send money to certain people to create businesses, they will more often than not pick the wrong people, and no jobs will be created. Think of the $500 million President Obama gave to Solyndra to build solar panels. Turns out people didn't want to buy these solar panels, and the taxpayer lost that money. Think of the billions spent on the war on poverty over many decades. Government spending doesn't work. It doesn't create jobs. Only the democracy of the marketplace can find those capable of creating jobs. It's not that government's inherently stupid, although it's a debatable point. It's that government doesn't get the same signals. Milton Friedman recognized that when he wrote, "Nobody spends somebody else's money as wisely as they spend their own. When it's your money, it's spent with a concern no government bureaucrat could ever duplicate."
You can't handle the truth.
They'll be calling you a radical. And by the way, Milton Friedman's the biggest con man fraud in the history of the fucking world. And so is Rand, Paul Ann Rand. He's named after. He's a fucking fraud. But big time. Don't even get me going. I'm an economist. But anyway, Fukushima, the number one issue that everybody should be talking about is Fukushima.
Yeah, of course.
And number two is Megan Rice being in a prison cell in Knoxville, Tennessee, lack of due process. And her 84th birthday is tomorrow. She broke into Y-12, and any of you people that live in that region that don't know what Y-12 is, you better figure it out.
Yep.
Well, fill us in, Kevin.
Y-12 is where the nuclear weapons are made in this country illegally.
Really?
Yeah.
The non-proliferation contract. They're breaking the law at Y-12 every single day. Every day. You want to talk the military industrialized complex? Under the Patriot Act carte blanche, Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Billions and billions of dollars are being spent to make more and more nuclear weapons every day, all day at Y-12. And the NRC and all these regulatory committees won't protect us, so an 84-year-old nun had to protect us. She broke into it, a peaceful protester. They charged her with terrorism. She's been sitting in a holding facility at 55 degrees for over 7 months. This happened a year and a half ago.
We know all about prolonged detention. That's what they're going to get it with, huh?
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, this is an 84-year-old nun. What do we not understand about she's a woman? She's an 84-year-old nun.
They're just going to hope she dies in jail.
This is torture.
No press. We got to get the press out. An
84-year-old nun.
Yeah.
That's right.
She's in prison for terrorism.
As far as tomorrow, there's a big day tomorrow, too, right there, you people in that region. Georgia. Vogel. The cutoff's tomorrow for the Department of Nuclearism, Ernest Monty and Obama. That loan has to be guaranteed by tomorrow, July 31st, 2014. Wow. Now, that plan is being built. That loan has not been guaranteed under what we have, the Price-Anderson Act, which was passed in 1953. So there's lawsuits flying all over. GE got sued today, by the way, by a bunch of people in Japan for their faulty equipment at Fukushima. But, yeah, there's a big lawsuit. But here's why we haven't sued here in the United States, because every one of these nuclear reactors, they said, you and I would have to sue ourselves. We, under the Price-Anderson Act, have to guarantee, we build them. If they have an accident, we pay for them. They just milk off the top.
No way.
They're non-profitable. Yeah, well, it's called, and so under that act, we guarantee. They take no risk whatsoever. And I think it's ironic you play Rand Paul, and and he goes off on his solar panels. You know, and Obama's stimulus to the solar panels.
Yeah, I know, right? I noticed that too. Exactly, same thing.
But people are buying solar panels. The problem with, you know what crashed that company? The same thing that crashed every company in America. We don't have tariffs. So Canadian Solar is selling the exact same solar panels that they were selling for 5 cents on the dollar in the United States because they use slaves in China to make their solar panels. That's why they fell, just like every other business in America fell.
Half the price. Yeah.
What else?
Name me a business.
Name me a business.
So we got an 83-year-old guy locked up for whistleblowing.
That's that TPP stuff. The
TPP is a drug killer.
Right.
So you guys,
right.
don't call your legislators, call your news people and your senators, let them know that you're pissed off. I'm pissed off, and I'm trying to hold it back for my composure for the radio show. I'm telling you what, man, I'm losing my hair over this shit. I'm not lying.
She's going to be 84 tomorrow. Megan Rice is going to be 84 tomorrow. I was in Tennessee at the hearing. The only media that covered it was local Knoxville media did cover it, and me. I was in that. You want to talk to who's who? She's Dr. Rice's daughter. She's a brilliant genius. She's Dorothy Day, and any of you people out there who call yourselves religion, and you don't know who Dorothy Day is, the greatest human rights activist in the history of this country. That's who raised her. That's who she is. There's an 84-year-old nun tomorrow who's sitting in a jail cell. We're not talking some 35-year-old or 52-year-old who's being unfalsely incarcerated, because we know there's millions of those. This just like you said, we talk about the First Amendment, we talk about the Second Amendment, but we don't talk about the Fifth, the Sixth, the Seventh, or the Eighth Amendment. That's called due process in this country.
Yeah, that's right.
Due process. Research that shit. Due process.
Detaining her,
cruel and unusual
detention with no due process. It's that Obama stuff. This is another reason why Obama needs to be impeached. We got to get rid of this guy.
They all need to be impeached, but let's start with him because he's the dictator pushing it all through.
Well, you got to start with him, raising an awakening, and start impeaching them all.
Who doesn't need to be impeached? The whole fucking lot needs to be impeached. Every one of them need to be impeached.
Yep.
America needs to be impeached.
They're all crooked, paid off.
They're all crooked.
Told to you. Basically, they're paid to tell you the bullshit that they're written out on a teleprompter.
That's right. That's why they check kids for scoliosis. That's how crooked it is.
Every one of you guys need to be aware.
Listen, there was a scientist that recently got killed for revealing the truth about chemtrails, okay, and he's dead, all right? What do you think is going to happen to this
happens every day.
All right? Why do you think Ukraine is up against the bullet right now and taking their shit back? Why do you think Egypt's going to hell? I'm telling you what, this is incredible stuff. So Fukushima's still going on. What day is it? What day is it today?
Well, you need to be aware of what's, like I said, tomorrow's a big day, and, you know, as far as the Georgia-Savannah River, and nuclear is not the answer to anything. Nuclear is the head of the snake. And the Manhattan Project where Oak Ridge started, and they're out of fucking control. The military-industrialized complex is capitulated on Balco in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, at Y12, where all the nuclear waste is nuclear weapons being made more. We got enough to blow up the world 1 billion times over. That's what keeps the nuclear industry going. That's why you and I have to guarantee under the so-called federal peacekeepers, under national defense. That's why we have to guarantee a nuclear act, because they could never get nuclear. No insurance company on earth is going to fund one of those. And anybody who says, oh, that nuclear is okay, you just tell them this. What the fuck about Fukushima do you not get? What part of Chernobyl do you not get? Chernobyl's killed 40 million people and counting. Fukushima will kill way north of that. And Fukushima, people act like it was some event that happened 3 years ago. Fukushima is worse today than it was yesterday, worse yesterday than it was today. It's 3 nuclear fission, out of control, at least 3, possibly 6. First time in human history, nuclear fission is burning into the earth and into the Pacific every single day, and it's never happened in the history of mankind. And let's hope to God Einstein wasn't right, because Einstein said it would burn to the core of the earth and knock the earth off its axis, and it would be the end of all of humanity. So let's play freaking American roulette and see if it happens, because that's exactly what we're doing. You know, and like I said, Obama needs to go. They all need to go.
They're changing the date of timekeeping, the daylight savings time. Actually changing the day that's going to be on. I don't know. I don't have all the information.
It's been shuffled around so many times. That thing,
it seems like it's already going on there, Kevin.
For 40 years.
So what are we at? 1,000 what?
We're 1,050
Call your people.
days. And
call your people.
You need to be aware. You need to
call your news people every day. Every time you're on Facebook, I'm sure everybody liked Fox News as their local bullshit reporting place for the weather, updates, and maybe a local murder, or shark bite, or Justin fucking Bieber. Okay? Whatever you got in there, find a comment or a post from us or from Kevin Blanch or Rad Chick, because you mind coming on for another Pressing the Issue show, Kevin Blanch with Rad Chick?
Oh, she's great, Christine. I love her. I talk to her almost
every day. We're going to get you both on, dude. I love you, man. I love her. You guys will be an awesome dynamic.
Well, I got to get you guys. I've got another interview that I'm getting ready to
we
do
got
right
clip
now
for everybody anyway for the rest of the time. Yeah.
You got to do it.
You guys stay at it and stay focused. And everybody who's listening to your show, just Google in Megan Rice. And just remember, she's an 83-year-old woman.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
Kevin
Thanks, you guys.
Blanch.
I got to go.
Right.
Megan Rice, 83-year-old woman, got arrested for whistleblowing. Okay?
Goodbye.
You're the man. Kevin Blanch, Post Ignorance.
Thank you for all
Tuesday
you do, Kevin.
And Thursday.
Yeah. You can listen to Kevin himself.
I'll keep you guys updated. Stay on my page, Judas Crowley, Facebook. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Clip 3, Denny. If you guys can hook it up, we're pressing on the half hour, and you might not even hear from me to be able to do the thing because it's really important that you guys hear this stuff. It's clip 3, okay? Impeach Obama. Go ahead, Denny. I'm sure everybody will get the drift.
Whose side is he on anyway? Just a few weeks ago, President Barack Obama told America he hated bailing out the banks. But in an interview with Bloomberg TV, set to air tomorrow, the president also said he, quote, doesn't begrudge the multi-million-dollar bonuses paid to the CEOs from Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan Chase. He says it's simply part of the free market system.
The problem is that the way Bush has done it over the last 8 years is to take out a credit card from the Bank of China in the name of our children, driving up our national debt from $5 trillion for the first 42 presidents. Number 43 added $4 trillion by his lonesome, so that we now have over $9 trillion of debt that we are going to have to pay back.
So I want to be clear about this. The debt ceiling is not a question of authorizing more spending. Raising the debt ceiling does not authorize more spending. It simply allows the country to pay for spending that Congress has already committed to. These are bills that have already been racked up, and we need to pay them.
That's irresponsible. It's unpatriotic.
But I want to stay on Benghazi based on what John asked, because you said if they want to come after me, come after me. I wanted to ask about the families of these 4 Americans who were killed. Sean Smith's father, Ray, said he believes his son basically called 911 for help, and they didn't get it. And I know you've said you grieve for these 4 Americans, that it's being investigated, but the families have been waiting for more than 2 months. So I would like for you to address the families if you can. On 9/11, as Commander-in-Chief, did you issue any orders to try to protect their lives?
Ed, I'll address the families not through the press. I'll address the families directly, as I already have. And we will provide all the information that is available about what happened on that day. That's what the investigation's for.
Wherever we once were, we are no longer a Christian nation.
Senator, you said something to me fascinating moments ago. You said, hey, I'd like to see those emails. You've been asking for them, and you can't get them. Why?
Yeah, I want to get a copy of them before I leave here. We have been asking the State Department for these specific emails for weeks now, and they've refused to give them to us to this point.
Good evening. We begin tonight with an important story, details of which may sound very familiar to a lot of Americans given our history over the past few years in places like Iraq. Tonight, Pentagon sources are telling NBC News Syria is preparing chemical weapons for their possible use against the Syrian people in the form of aerial bombs. It's believed this specific intelligence is the reason why President Obama took a hard line against Syria just a few days ago.
The folks are indeed responsible for the government they get. Germans could have thrown Hitler out. They did not. Russians fought hard for Stalin. The Chinese surrendered to Mao. The Cubans allowed Fidel Castro to take away their liberty. The folks are responsible. The online magazine Newsweek has presented this to its readers, the second coming. Not exactly sure about the first coming here. I don't know what they're referring to. I hope not comparing the president to Jesus. I hope not.
I say, what do you think they mean when they say the second coming? I mean, literally, they mean his second term in office.
Yeah.
But the term, the second coming, has connotations, and they're religious connotations. And this is the same magazine where the guy who wrote the cover story, Evan Thomas, referred to Barack Obama as a kind of god. This isn't journalism, Bill. This is idolatry.
FoxNews.com has confirmed that 4 F-16 fighter jets have left American soil and are en route to Egypt as part of a foreign aid package.
Just in, a military drill in downtown Miami, complete with these Black Hawk helicopters, elite soldiers, and police officers swarming the streets. It's kind of scary when you suddenly look up and see that, but it's all about being prepared for the unknown of urban combat. All about being prepared for the unknown of urban combat. Urban combat. The rest, we are told, is classified.
Reports say a key Iranian nuclear site was rocked by a massive underground explosion. Question, is this a deliberate attempt to sabotage their nuclear development?
Who did this? Who fears radiation, radioactivity, and enrichment program nuclear weapons from Iran? There are two obvious choices. One is Israel, one is the United States.
Let me make clear what that commitment is. It is to prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon, period.
If you thought the NDAA was bad, National Defense Authorization Act, if you thought that that was hardcore, the secret arrest of Americans, the end of posse comitatus, military on the streets, the whole world, the battlefield, if you thought all the announcements that they want to take your pension funds and put them into government control was bad, well, there it is on screen right there. Exclusive government activating FEMA camps across America, across the United States. We have the emails, we have the internal Halliburton KBR documents, government defense and infrastructure, not for public eyes, restricted info.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that is an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
A bill introduced by a group of Democratic lawmakers in Missouri that could potentially turn thousands of legal, lawful gun owners into felons.
Does that settle it there, Captain?
Well, Bill, I come from a way of life in the military where you don't buy weapons that you don't intend to use. Why would you? And if you look at what the Department of Homeland Security has been purchasing over the last year, it comes out to like 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition, more than 7,000 fully automatic assault weapons, 2,700 MRAP type vehicles, and now drones. Those are instruments of war. Department of Homeland Security's, who are they going to fight a war against?
How do you answer that?
For example, the President could conceivably have no choice but to authorize the military to use such force, if necessary, to protect the homeland in the circumstances of a catastrophic attack like the ones December 7th, 1941, September 11th, 2001. Were such an emergency to arise, I would examine the particular facts and circumstances before advising the President on the scope of his authority. Those were both acts of war, and they were surprise attacks. That's not when you then go in and start advising.
Breaking news now on a stunning exchange in a Senate hearing just a short time ago. Texas Senator Ted Cruz grilling the Attorney General, Eric Holder, this issue about drone strikes. And not just drone strikes on our enemies overseas, but drone strikes on American citizens here on American soil perpetrated by our own government. So Ted Cruz, the senator, talks to Mr. Holder about this and comes down on Mr. Holder after the Attorney General suggested that President Obama can act, potentially, hypothetically, as judge, jury, and indeed executioner, and order a deadly drone strike against an American citizen right here inside of the United States.
Does the Constitution allow a U.S. citizen on U.S. soil who doesn't pose an imminent threat to be killed by the U.S. government?
I do not believe that. Again, you have to look at all of the facts. But on the facts that you have given me, and this is a hypothetical, I would not think that in that situation the use of a drone or lethal force would be appropriate because
General Holder, I have to tell you, I find it remarkable that in that hypothetical, which is deliberately very simple, you are unable to give a simple one-word, one-syllable answer, no.
Did Jesus really reveal the name of the Antichrist? I will report the facts. You can decide. In Luke chapter 10, verse 18, Jesus said these words, "And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from the heavens." These words are written in Greek and translated to English. However, Jesus spoke these words originally in Aramaic, which is the most ancient form of Hebrew. As you know, the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. If a modern Jewish rabbi were to speak these words of Jesus today, he would speak them in Hebrew, much the same way that Jesus would have spoken them. So in Hebrew, Jesus said that he saw Satan falling as lightning from the heights or from the heaven. So what are the words for lightning and heights or heavens in Hebrew? From the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, word number 1299, a primitive root word meaning to lighten or lightning or to cast forth, the word is barak. In the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, word number 1300, lightning, or by analogy a gleam, a flashing sword, or a brightness or a glittering, the Hebrew word is barak. So lightning or a flash of light in Hebrew is pronounced barak or barak. Now consider this amazing. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 14, Lucifer or Satan is credited with these words: I will ascend above the height of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. In the verses of Isaiah that refer directly to Luke, several times it is mentioned that Satan has fallen from the heights or from the heaven. Hebrew word used in this text for the heights from which Satan fell is Strong's Hebrew word 1116, pronounced Bama. Bama is most commonly used to refer to a high sacred place, as well as to the heights of the heavens or the clouds. So, Barak o Bama, or Barak u Bama, in Hebrew poetry, similar to the style written in Isaiah, would translate literally as lightning and the height or the heavens, or lightning from the height of the sky or the heavens. The word Satan is Satan in Hebrew, a direct translation. So back to Jesus' prophet in Luke chapter 10, verse 18. If spoken by a Jewish rabbi today, influenced by the poetry of Isaiah, he would say these words in Hebrew, the words of Jesus in Luke chapter 10, verse 18 as, and I saw Satan as Barak Ubama. Did Jesus reveal to us the name of the Antichrist?
I tell you, so bailing out banks, he said he hated it, but now it's just a part of the free market system.
Oh, everything he said and campaigned, he did just the opposite.
Just the opposite. What does this tell you, everybody that's listening? This is not a joke.
They might as well have just kept Bush in there.
They might as well resurrect Hitler, dude, and throw him in there.
Oh, dude, it would have been better.
Yep. Did you know Obamacare used to be called T4?
At least we would have known the problem.
Hitler called it T4,
wrote it all out in
Universal
Mein Kampf. He said, hey, I don't like Jews. I'm going to do this. He wrote it all out in Mein Kampf. Barack Obama, we got to guess. It's terrible.
Let's get back to the semantics here because we don't have much time. Because, this is crazy stuff. So in that clip, we obviously heard the national debt blamed on other presidents, and he opposes it, but then says it's okay because it's what we have already committed to. But then
takes out the same black credit card and runs that thing.
Oh, yeah. $1 million vacation. I will tell you what, Mr. Obama, I commit as a citizen of this country, and I hope everybody else does. Because, Obama, this is for everybody else. Fuck you, okay? Anybody who's listening, I'm sure you're all going to say the same stuff. Fuck you, Obama, and anybody else behind you, okay? Benghazi, blown over. You got his family members wanting to do, I'll address the families, but not through the press. Yeah, because transparency was just a sales gimmick, basically. He said
I know. Who hasn't been to a used car salesman?
Yeah, he's
the
best,
thing runs
all right?
like a kitten.
Oh, my God. Then you heard the guy doing the investigation, and he has been trying to get those papers ever since. You think that won't happen again? You get back. Go back and listen to these shows because I can't repeat everything. Henry Kissinger said that American soldiers are just pawns used for foreign policy and are just dumb, stupid animals. Check back. I'm serious. It was one of the philosophical quotes for Truth and Socrates' Poison. Iran taken down and never going to rise again, and you heard that from Biden. And then all of a sudden a mysterious earthquake from underneath the ground happened. And we have HARP. We possess it all.
Oh yeah, the football games this weekend, and you're going to hear a commercial in there about the Zionist movement.
Yep.
The whole Matrix stuff. Yeah.
You probably saw a commercial where Morpheus was beating on the TV.
Yeah. You're trying to get the Matrix to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're going to listen to that Zionist movement. We already know what that is, taken over by the Catholic Church. So all promoters
That's right. So it's actually real.
Revolution and stuff. They're like, oh, yeah, the revolution's going to be good. Do this and really piss off the Muslims. Huh?
Oh, my God. We're talking about World War III, guys. World War III, it's already in action, I guarantee it.
That means everybody
NCAA, oh, yeah, don't forget, Bitcoin guy is already arrested
Bitcoin
for
guy went
money laundering.
Down. Money laundering. I can't believe it. Not money laundering. You know what? The Federal Reserve should go down for money laundering, too, because drug dealers...
Make in mind, I want you guys to understand a little piece of information. While the members of Congress applauded the dozens of times during Obama's State of the Union address, Representative Steve Stockman was having none of it. And Stockman walked out of the speech in disgust because he could not bear to watch as he continued to cross the clearly defined boundaries of the constitutional separation of powers. All right? And then also... He's also Representative Steve Stockman of Texas, who is pursuing a run on Senate, walked out of the President Barack Obama, okay, and he's also starting his own impeachment campaign for Barack Obama. Steve Stockman, Texas representative, considering trying to impeach Obama. So, you know what? It's going to take us to get behind this guy. You understand? So we're going to need to do it. Get a hold of that guy.
We got the guy, though.
Stockman.
The guy's already doing it. All we got to do is jump on board.
We got to stand behind him.
It's easy. You know, it's like cell phone. All you got to do is dial the number.
TEVESTOCKMAN. Texas representative. Give him a call.
Give him a call. Tell him you're on board.
So as we keep going, okay? So then you sit there and you get a law that turns American citizens who legally carry firearms that if they don't turn in their weapons, then they will be felons. Sounds like the future of America, okay? But our government is buying 1.6 billion rounds of ammo, thousands.
You're a felon.
Yeah.
If you can shoot somebody that's going to shoot you first,
you're a terrorist. You're the terrorist.
That's right.
Well, really, the government's
you
the terrorist?
Obviously should
but they're saying that you're the
give
terrorist.
up and just get me.
We also have
Don't worry. As long as you work hard,
7,000 fully automatic assault weapons being bought by our government, 2,700 MRAP vehicles and drones. Sounds like we're going to war, but they can't tell us with who. I can give you a grand idea if you'd like. It's you.
That's right.
Drone strikes on the Americans. What's that?
You and China.
You and China. Yeah, and he
lies.
He lies.
Anybody
strikes
that's
the American people on American soil, perpetuated by our own government. Obama is now your judge, jury, and executioner, depending on the boundaries that you cross. And he can order a deadly drone strike against an American citizen.
Oh, no!
Does the Constitution
allow you?
And your cell
phone's going to guide that missile right into your pocket.
You got a cell phone, don't forget about that.
Google wants to know your location.
Oh, yeah. We should go back to the old broadcasting ways in 1990s, right before they shut that shit off. So,
yeah, before they could actually tell where people were standing.
You got Congress being like, hey, he says, does the Constitution allow a U.S. citizen on U.S. soil who doesn't pose an imminent threat to be killed by the U.S. government? And he could not even answer.
Does not pose an imminent threat.
So apparently, did you know that military people are getting fired and kicked out because they are opposing the because they're standing up for the Constitution? Isn't it unbelievable?
Nah.
And yeah, I saw it on Secrets of the Fed, man. And one of the posts that they put up of a news article, I should have saved it, and I could have linked it somewhere. But I'll find it back, and I'll post it on the page. And that last part is true. And I just think it's up to you to decide for yourself if Barack Obama is the Antichrist Lucifer in the flesh. I'm not really sure to give that kind of information out there like that, but a lot of tall tale signs kind of show what's going on. We've got prophetic shit going on.
If Lucifer was in the flesh, it'd probably be Barack Obama.
I suggest everybody just kind of find God
you can't hate
in some way.
If you hate him, you're racist.
Yourself. Jesus is the man.
You know that?
You go to Jesus, man, and you just read those words in red, and I'm telling you what, you'll feel enlightened. You'll feel like you're talking to yourself. You're like, that's exactly what I would have said.
Well, what is the battle really? The battle is with the self.
It's with the spirit of the self and the man.
The spirit of the self. And man is one. All of mankind is one.
Why should man be
enslaved?
enslaved?
So if you're going to let Barack Obama lead us right down the hellhole, well, then I guess I don't want to walk with you there.
Yeah, what the hell are we doing? You know?
Yeah,
Wester Joseph, Stereo Vudu. He was on tonight. I want to give a big thanks to him. He's an incredible artist, and I hope you guys enjoyed the song. So we had a little, what's that?
Kevin Blanch has got his own radio show.
Kevin Blanch, yep. Yeah, basically I want to thank DTM Wicked Radio,
with
Rennie and
Radchick,
Tiffany
right?
Gager. Radchick's coming on soon, man. I love that girl. Chris George, Kevin Blanch, Fred Marsico, and to you guys, all the listeners, thanks for joining another crazy round at the table of conflict and interest. And thanks again. And I hope to see you guys next time on Subliminal Sanity. It's been an awesome night. Basically, we can go ahead and do a roundabout way of this dynamic of this show that we put on the table here. I have to say that fundamentally, if you do not think that this man needs to be impeached by his own contradictions and his own words that he put on the table himself, I didn't have to say anything.
Of the Constitution.
Of the Constitution, totally acting like it was just... Remember what we said. Please go back to other shows. Last show was Sense of Oppression, show 17. Amazing show. Me and Crowley are going to be guessing on a new show, I believe February 1st on his birthday. All right, and we're going to go ahead and it's Paranormal Temptations. We're going to be on that one with Sasha Hayden and Tammy, I believe Rensfield, Tammy. I can't remember her last name. I'm bad with names, by the way.
Paranormal stuff?
Yeah, Paranormal Temptations. We're going to go in there for talking about oppression, you know, basically leading off where we took off, but enveloping and helping her start off her new show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, you know.
Yeah, you gotta get out there, man. You gotta tell people what's going on. And so if you want to check it out, I'll be having the links up there, and you guys can hear Subliminal Sanity cross-paralleling.
Well, everybody's got to know. Everybody that's listening to this show knows that they are the voice. You guys are the voice.
That's right.
You are the people.
And her last name is Rosenfeld.
For this.
So that's Tammy Rosenfeld and Sasha Hayden, and we'll be on their show, Paranormal Temptations. And I can't remember the time exactly, but I'll keep you guys updated. And but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the show for tonight. The song that we have for you next, I'm sure you got a little good sample of it, is Dusty Groove. And I really liked it a lot. And I think for the variables of what we put on the table for tonight, I think it's a good kickback, chillax song to, you know, maybe put everything away in your mind and pull out that old box full of that good, wacky green herb. If you live in Colorado and Washington, California, and you need it for medicinal purposes. But don't forget that Fukushima is a radioactive thing that does cause cancer, so I guess we all have an excuse now to start smoking marijuana. So, please, everybody,
we're all cancer patients waiting to happen.
We're all fucked. I'm sorry to say it like that, but woo! Excuse me, you guys can totally erase that last part.
So you might as well enjoy the effects of marijuana before you actually
I'm sure you can edit that, right,
Man.
So anywho, right? So anywho, I just wanted to thank everybody again. You guys have been wonderful. And here's the wonderful song, Dusty Groove. I hope you guys enjoy. Wester Joseph, Stereo Vudu. Please go out there, find them. They're remarkable. Thank you again, Kevin Blanch, Christina, Rad Chick. Man, amazing people out there being a part of this member. It's great to be a part of this member. All right, you guys are amazing. I hope you love the show. All right, Denny, if you guys could be the fingers and toes and angels behind the scenes, kind of like Oz, and play that great old song, Dusty Groove. Pull some strings.
Dusty Groove keeps spinning up track. Trying hard to bring the rhythm back. Oh, to the rockers who've been dead a while. Long live your spirit and your style.
The Caring Coaching Center is the proud sponsor of DTM Wicked Radio Network. What would it mean to you to have better health, more energy, more vitality, and an all-around better life? At the Caring Coaching Center, our mission is to be your partner in helping you reach your health, fitness, and lifestyle goals. We do this through a dynamic 6-month program that helps our clients reach their goals and their full potential. And it all starts with a free, no obligation, 50-minute health history consultation. Just visit us at the www.thecaringcoachingcenter.com to schedule your free consultation today. Or you can go to www.dtmwickedradio.com, click the sponsor page, scroll down to the Caring Coaching Center tab, click on the tab and open up to the website to start your free consultation today. It's all here on dtmwickedradio.com.